But for me, well, I mean, for me, it's just like, well, while we were playing Destiny, I was playing games like Hyper Light Drifter. I was playing games like Dragon's Dogma, and I was playing games like Ghost of Tsushima, right? And uh, it's like all those games were games that are definitely in the good category. You know, like I love Dragon's Dogma. You know, I think Ghost of Tsushima is a good game.
Oh my
You know,
god, let me see the food. Oh my god. I won't die. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm too good of it to go die. But go ahead.
but see, I noticed. See, so I kind of feel like in this case, I'm like the guy who knows what top of the line apple pie tastes like. You
Yeah,
know, and I could tell that. Well, Destiny ain't it. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Cause well, you know the countless days of me, uh, whining about the game. Oh, this game's trash. This game's trash. I don't want to play. You know, you, you haven't forgotten. You know,
Yeah.
countless days of me complaining about Destiny, right? And I knew that Destiny was never gonna change. You know, because I was thinking, damn, like Destiny 1 wasn't too great. And I was thinking, well, if Destiny 2 doesn't start changing it up, then I'm like, well, I've lost hope of this game even becoming a better game. You know, I feel like sometimes the second game just makes things all that much more better. Like a good example of this is a really good example of this is ba- uh, Battle Z, Xenoverse, and Xenoverse 2. Right?
Yeah.
So Battle of Z was basically like the blueprint for Xenoverse. And, you know, it had very similar style. You know, because I was watching a lot of Battle of Z because that was like, at the time that was like the newest Dragon Ball game, right? And I wanted to play a Dragon Ball game because all the other games I had were kind of old. The newest one that I had was Raging Blast 2, I think, but my Raging Blast 2 disc got destroyed and I couldn't play Raging Blast, even though I really enjoyed Raging Blast. But that was whatever, right? So I was like, when's the next Dragon Ball game coming out? It was Battle Z. So I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, it looks a little different, but it still looks kind of cool, right? And then I kind of heard that the game had a lot of issues. Like, it was definitely revolutionary in terms of Dragon Ball games, but you know, because they took such big risks, they definitely had some big issues. You know, like sometimes the camera was hard to control. It was hard to keep track of who you were fighting because instead of having a one-on-one fight like they usually had in these Dragon Ball games, you had like three or three or four people on your team and three or four people on the enemy team all fighting in one battlefield. And it was crazy because I was like, sometimes that's kind of how like Dragon Ball the anime was like. You know, you have multiple people fighting, and it was cool to look at because you never seen that in a Dragon Ball game before, right? So then when Xenoverse 2 came out, they took a lot of ideas from Battle Z, and they just improved on it so much that Xenoverse 1 was thought to be like one of the, like, not even just one of the best Dragon Ball game to date, because there really was nothing like it in terms of Dragon Ball games, right?
Yeah.
So then when Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 came out, it improved on Xenoverse 1 so much that it was just like, this was the Dragon Ball game. You know, this was it. You know, and as of today, I still feel like there hasn't been a Dragon Ball game that can really compare to it in terms of just like what Xenoverse 2 is. And I feel like in terms of just fighter, like just straight up fighter, I feel like not Battle, but Dragon Ball Fighters is the best Dragon Ball Fighter game But in terms of everything else, I feel like Xenoverse just raises the bar for Dragon Ball games. You know, Xenoverse 2 is just way up there, right? And so I'm thinking, well, if Destiny 2 is like that in any way, where they really are trying to improve on the issues, the vast amount of issues they had in Destiny 1, then I feel like Destiny 2 does have potential to be an even, definitely a lot better game. You know, though I never really thought Universe 1 was a bad game, but just in comparison to Xenoverse 2, Xenoverse 1 looks like trash, you know. But Xenoverse 1, compared to a lot of old Dragon Ball games, it looks like gold. You know what I'm saying? But so Xenoverse 1 technically is a good game. It's just, like I said, in comparison to Xenoverse 2, it can't hold a candle to it. And I was hoping for the same thing for Destiny 2. Unfortunately, Destiny 2, well, at least to me, seemingly was worse. It just got worse. The Eververse shop became a bigger, you know, hell, even sometimes it ended up being more content in the freaking Eververse shop than the actual freaking DLC that just came out. And I don't even understand how that worked. You know, the first two DLCs were felt like freaking playing. And I figured it out. You know, I'm gonna shoot my own horn here. I figured this goddamn crap out. I said that this crap is gonna be like, it's gonna be Destiny 1 all over again. The first two DLCs are gonna suck. You know, it's basically gonna be Dark Below and House of Wolves, and then the third DLC is gonna be a complete banger. Everybody's gonna enjoy it. You know, it's gonna be probably the best goddamn DLC out of any DLC Destiny 2 is gonna have. And then it happened. So Curse of Osiris came out. It was very small, very tiny. It was trash, right? Then Warmind came out, same crap. You know, I still feel like Warmind was slightly better, kind of like House of Wolves was, but it was still trash. You know, it still wasn't too much more better, right? And then Forsaken came out, and it just added so much to the game. And after that, then they decided, hey, which way, what, how can we make content even more money grabbish? Oh, let's do annual passes. You know, and then after annual passes came out, it was just a rapid decline of just reaching in your pockets and then just coming out with just crap. You know, in fact, I feel like the only thing that came out of the annual pass that was good was Menagerie. Everything else was garbage. They literally had us playing freaking basketball and freaking the Forge.
And the irony is you can't even do a Menagerie now.
Yeah, I know. Menagerie was one of the best activities they added to the game, and they took it out. Some of the stuff they took out of the game was some of the best stuff they had in the game. So, and now what you see a lot of issues with people complaining about is, instead of improving some of the content that's already in the game and some of the activities that are already in the game, you decide to just take them out and replace them with activities that are garbage. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, I haven't found an activity that I enjoyed as much as Menagerie yet in Destiny, and I'm never going to find it because I don't ever want to play Destiny again. You know? It's some garbage. You know?
Well, that's how I feel about it, because I was, you know, we were saying earlier, I was making a little joke about it, but I was saying earlier that if they had, you were saying something about if they had some content in here like this, you know, whatever, and I was like, well, if they had some content like this, it don't matter to me. I don't want to ever play fucking Destiny, because I'm sick of it. You know, so you have a different opinion than me, because you had always started out as saying that there's some flaws. I mean, and I gotta give credit where credit is due. I give it to you, and I give it to J Money, Because J Money, I don't know how he did it, but he just knew something wasn't right. He just knew it wasn't right. Something was wrong about this game, right? And he was just a kid, so he really couldn't articulate to me. Because to me, I'm coming from the generation that, hey, you got a game, you play it, it's fun. You know, you shoot things, you got, you know. And you and him was kind of like, no, this game ain't quality. It's trash. It ain't enough to just shoot things. You know, you gotta have a story around it. You gotta have some purpose around it. You gotta, and you can't just be grinding shit, grabbing materials just to be doing it. For what reason? For what purpose? Right? You know. And to me, I didn't. You know, I'm just. I come from the old generation. You know, which is kind of maybe just a kind of indication of my age. But I come from a generation where we didn't have any of this shit. I was just preaching. My shooting was pew pew with my fingers. You know, there wasn't nothing else. You know, there wasn't no, you know, games like this and stuff like, you know, and so, but that's flawed thinking, because it's kind of like the expectation and the product that should be delivered should be a product of its time, right? So the product of my time wasn't, oh my God. Oh my God. Logo. Oh my God. Oh my God. Woo! I just fought this big old dragon. You know that fire dragon? Oh, you probably haven't got to this area yet. But there's a fire dragon down here. So dragon horns don't do shit for you, huh?
It depends. It can get you some spells. It can get you dragon spells.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Get you dragon spells. But, you know, I just started thinking, right? It's like, Elden Ring. Oh, actually, not even Elden Ring. This actually applies to a lot of Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Souls game. You know, all the games. You know, that they have some form of multiplayer in it or whatever. And I'm thinking, you know, another thing I got sick and tired of.
What?
So I feel like this game is molded so perfectly, where everything falls into place with the community, the game, you know, at this age. Because it's like I was I was playing